So in this video, we want to talk about some of the effects of price discrimination. We've talked about three types of price discrimination: perfect price discrimination, nonlinear price discrimination, and segmented price discrimination. And one of the things that we saw when we looked at segmented price discrimination and even first-degree price discrimination is that actually total surplus increases compared to a monopoly price. And even in segmented price discrimination, actually consumer surplus increases because you're able to serve more consumers. And so in terms of general efficiency, right, total surplus, consumer and producer surplus, the general idea is that price discrimination will improve efficiency only when it causes total output to increase. So if we're actually producing more, then we can be generally pretty confident that efficiency has increased. Of course, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's good, right? If we get to the same output with perfect price discrimination and perfect competition, that doesn't mean that those are comparable outcomes. That said, if you did allow first degree price discrimination in a monopoly setting, but then you adjusted the sort of financial outcome with taxes and transfers, then maybe that would be a not terrible outcome. The welfare implications aren't as clear for nonlinear pricing and segmented price discrimination. Sometimes it will increase and other times it may decrease. Another effect that we want to think about with price discrimination is how firms use it for strategic effects. And one of the interesting things is that Borenstein and Ross and Stavins in their articles find that price discrimination is actually greater in oligopoly markets than it is in monopoly markets in the airline industry. So you can sort of look at price discrimination in areas where there's two or three airlines covering that route versus one airline. So Borenstein and Rose, Ross found that price dispersion increased by 25% when the number of competitors increased from 1 to 2 airlines. And the idea is that you're going to have, if you're an oligopoly, you're going to have some consumers who always fly with you, right? They have a brand loyalty, and then some people that are always looking for the cheapest price. And so you're going to want to have different prices for that. And one way to do it is to have, consumer loyalty programs with frequent flyer programs, and then have, very low fares for those who are looking for that. Another issue is intertemporal price discrimination. And the idea behind intertemporal price discrimination is generally that you charge a high price when a product just comes out, and then you charge a lower price in the future. And the idea here is that what you're trying to do is find, the high value customers and sell to them first, and then sell to a much larger market after that. So you can think about, fashion, it's expensive when it comes out, and then the next season it's on the sale rack. Technology gadgets that are often discounted, hardcover versus paperback books, right? So people who really want to read the book as soon as it comes out have to pay $20 on the hardcover. But if you can wait a while, then you can get it for, $10. Electronics is often, the newest, greatest products will have a steep price. But if you wait 6 months, it will go down. And then finally, we want to think about sort of brand loyalty and habit and addiction. And we're going to talk about addiction in the next video more specifically. But the idea here is that, you might want to offer a low price at first in order to get people to buy your product. And then as they come to like your brand, or they become habited to it, or in case of addicted products, addicted to it, then you charge a higher price, right? And we often see this with new entrants that are trying to develop a brand name, and they'll often increase their price as they go on in order to convince people also that they have a higher quality. And there's, their grocery stores can offer free samples. It's another way to have a low price and then a higher price. And fitness clubs also, if exercise is a habit-forming activity, they start off with a low price, for, a month or 6 months, and then a higher price.